The word struck me like a fist to the chest, knocking the breath clean out of the room. "I'm going to travel with the kids," Sarah said, her voice steady, almost rehearsed as she stood in the kitchen, her back turned, stirring a pot of simmering pasta. "We don't want you to come." My fork froze halfway to my mouth, the bite of chicken cooling in the heavy silence. From the living room, the children's laughter floated through the air, light and carefree, an eerie contrast to the cold knot tightening in my veins. "Good luck," I managed to say, my voice hollow and distant, because what else could I say when the ground beneath me shifted so violently? The kitchen smelled warmly of garlic and tomatoes simmering, a cruel illusion of normalcy. Sarah didn't turn around. Her shoulders remained squared and unyielding as she told me this wasn't some spur-of-the-moment decision. I stared at the back of her head, auburn strands catching the soft glow of the overhead light, and found myself wondering when she stopped being the woman who used to curl into me on the couch, whispering dreams of family vacations and quiet futures. Our kids, Leia, 7, and Max, 10, were blissfully unaware, their voices rising above the cheerful din of cartoons. I pushed my plate away, appetite vanished, and tried to wrap my mind around the weight of her words. A trip without me? Fine. But the way she said, "we," like I was already excluded, like I was no longer part of our family, cut deeper than I could admit. In the days that followed, the house felt like a stage set for a play I hadn't rehearsed. Sarah moved with brisk efficiency, packing suitcases with the kids' clothes, booking flights on her laptop, fingers flying over the keyboard with a purpose that left no room for me. One evening, leaning against the bedroom doorway, I asked quietly, "Where are you going?" "Greece," she replied without looking up, folding Leia's favorite sundress with practiced care. "Santorini, maybe Athens. The kids will love it." Her tone was light, but behind it I saw a wall I couldn't climb. I swallowed the questions burning my throat and nodded instead, forcing out a hollow, "Sounds nice," before retreating to the garage. I tinkered with a broken lawn mower, pretending the ache in my chest was just heartburn. The warning signs had been there all along, hadn't they? I'd seen them but shoved them aside as stress or fatigue. The late-night text she brushed off as work chatter. The way she lingered at the mirror, applying makeup for girls' nights, that seemed to happen every other week. The new perfume, sharp and unfamiliar, clinging to her clothes when she came home. I told myself it was nothing. Sarah was a devoted mother and nurse. She deserved outlets. But now as I watched her pack, those moments played like a suspenseful montage, each a clue I had ignored. A week before their departure, I found the first crack in her carefully constructed facade. I was searching for Max's soccer cleats in the hall closet when a small notebook slipped from the shelf, landing open at my feet. Her handwriting, neat and looping, covered the pages. I shouldn't have looked, but my eyes caught a name, Evan. My stomach twisted. "Evan says, the cliffs at sunset are magic," she'd written. "He wants to show us." The name burned like fire. I snapped the notebook shut, hands trembling, and shoved it back on the shelf. Evan, her coworker, the charming doctor with the easy smile who'd joined us for dinner once. His eyes had lingered on Sarah too long. I'd laughed it off then. Now it felt like a blade twisting in my gut. That night I confronted her. The kids were asleep, the house thick with the steady hum of the refrigerator. Sarah sat on the couch, face illuminated by the glow of her phone. "Who's Evan taking to Greece?" I asked quietly, trying to keep the edge of accusation from creeping into my voice. She froze, thumb hovering over the screen. "What?" she said, but her eyes darted away, betraying more than she wanted. "Guilty," I said softly. "Evan from work. You wrote about him in your notebook." Her face hardened, but a flicker of panic flashed in her eyes. "You went through my things?" she shot back, deflecting. "That's not the point, Sarah. Are you? Is there something going on?" My voice cracked under the weight of the fear I'd been hiding for weeks. She stood, crossing her arms, steady but cold. "You're being paranoid, Tom. Evan's just a friend. He's been to Greece. Gave me some tips. That's all." Her words were sharp, too polished, as if rehearsed. "Then why can't I come?" I pressed, stepping closer, searching her face for the woman I'd married. She looked away, jaw tight. "Because I need space, okay? The kids and I need this." Her voice softened, but it wasn't meant for me, it was a self-justification. I wanted to scream, to tear down her walls and demand the truth, but the weight of her words held me frozen. Space from me. The days blurred, slipping toward their departure. I drove them to the airport, the car heavy with unspoken words. Leia wrapped her small arms around me in a tight hug, a fragile lifeline. Max gave me a fist bump, eyes glued to his phone. Sarah's goodbye was a quick peck on the cheek, perfunctory and distant, her gaze already elsewhere. "Good luck," I said once more, the bitterness lacing my tone as they disappeared through security. Back home, the silence was suffocating. The house felt like a tomb. I poured a glass of whiskey and sat at the kitchen table, the notebook I'd retrieved from the closet lying open before me. I read every damning word. Plans for dinners with Evan, trips to Santorini, a hotel booked for 2, not 3. Her excitement, her guilt, her justification scrawled in ink. She wasn't just cheating. She was building a life without me. I could have called her, screamed into the void of an international line, demanded answers. But what would it change? Instead, I waited. The betrayal simmered in my veins, turning love to ash. When they returned, tanned, smiling, I was ready. Sarah walked in, dropping her bags with a careless motion, and froze when she saw the notebook on the table. "Tom," she began. I cut her off. "I know about Evan," I said, my voice calm but ice cold. "I know everything." Her face crumpled, not with remorse but relief, as if she'd been waiting to be caught. "I'm sorry," she whispered, but it was hollow. The kids burst in, unaware, their laughter a cruel reminder of what we'd lost. I didn't yell. I didn't beg. I picked up my keys and walked out, leaving her with the truth. She tried to hide, but I only said once more, "Good luck." The door closed behind me, the sound echoing like a gunshot. I wasn't running from pain. I was walking toward something else, something I couldn't yet name. But one thing was clear, I was done pretending.